So I've recently found out that your ear and your hearing are as unique as your fingerprint. How cool is that? I have been completely deaf in my left ear since birth, so I've definitely had some unique experiences caused by hearing loss. I've partnered with ReSound recently to shine a light on natural hearing and hearing care that's individual to you. As a kid, I was always clowning around trying to make people laugh. I always wanted to be a comedian. I loved Victoria Wood, French and Saunders. I grew up with all that humour and I kind of wanted to share it with people, but I didn't want my hearing loss to get in the way. So living with hearing loss has caused quite a lot of struggles on my journey to be a professional comedian, but it's also helped me develop the skills I need to be good at my job. So when I started off doing small comedy gigs in pubs, these are actually some photos of my very first gigs, I really struggled with all the background noise, like glasses clinking, people talking, the people at the bar serving people, sirens, all sorts of things. Even though I had a microphone, I never had any idea if I was being loud enough because I'd be distracted by those noises and I couldn't hear my voice as loudly as the audience could. They also have stage monitors to help you hear, but they were often on my deaf side when I got there, so that was useless. If they were on my right side, my hearing side, that could be very distracting, so they sometimes have to turn it off. So I really struggled with all of these things. It was quite overwhelming. Audiences used to be in darkness as well at those early gigs because you turn up and the lights would be really bright on you and all you could see is a blur of people, and I used to find that really panic inducing. Scariest thing for any comedian, especially at the beginning, is worrying about heckles. So I have no directional sound because of my hearing loss, so I cannot tell where a sound is coming from. So for example, I have to be really careful crossing the road because I can't rely on just hearing if a car's coming. Often I'll hear a car and think it's coming from that way, but actually it's coming from that way, so I always have to look a lot. So I remember one particular show in Edinburgh in front of 150 people. I'd worked my way up to do shows for that many people. Someone shouted something out from the audience and it really freaked me out because I had no idea what they'd shouted, where it had come from, and the audience all laughed. So whatever this person said was obviously very funny and I wasn't in on the joke, and I kind of felt really humiliated and vulnerable at that very moment. I had a slight moment of panic, but I decided to just step out of character because I play these big comic characters and just be me. And I said, look, hey guys, I'm sorry, I'm half deaf. I don't know where that came from and I don't know what they said. Can someone help me? So the audience helped me and they told me what the person had said and they told me who had said it. And it was actually something really nice the person had said, and they were just having a bit of fun joining in with the show. So I had a nice chat with them and then I just carried on as if nothing had happened. And that was such a lovely moment of just kind of owning it and being honest and just getting on with the show. So when I perform now, any gig, anywhere, I get there a bit early and I say, I would like the house lights on a bit because I want to see who I'm performing to. And because of that, my shows have become very interactive. I love going into the audience and meeting people. And I think it's because I just like communicating, I like looking at them and hearing what they're saying. And sometimes if you can't hear very well, you can rely on things like body language and facial expression. So communication's not always about sound. I can thank my hearing loss for one thing though. From a young age, I became very good at observing people in order to hear. So I would look at facial expressions, body language, I'd probably lip read, and it was a way of me sort of listening without having to rely on this just one ear when there was a lot of background noise. My superpower is my ability to observe people really carefully and then use those skills to create comic characters that are memorable, relatable and lovable. I think my hearing loss has really shaped the way that I do comedy, and I think everyone's hearing is unique to them, so their hearing care should be individual to them too. That's why I've recently partnered with ReSound, because they understand that your hearing is unique and individual to you, as unique as a fingerprint.